In this video, I want to take a moment in order to talk about learning to code and Webflow. Now, is it really needed to learn how to code since supposedly Webflow is a no-code tool, right? Now, in my personal opinion, learning to code is going to do a lot of good in your educational path. And I'm specifically referring to learning the basics. So you don't need to become a full-time developer in order to create Webflow sites. In fact, I know people who don't really know how to code and they can successfully create Webflow sites. But understanding the basics, in my opinion, of HTML and CSS is really going to give you a basic foundation which is going to allow you to structure your Webflow sites in an efficient way and just operate in a very clean manner. So this doesn't need to be a huge time investment on your behalf. It's not going to be something that takes years or even months. In fact, learning the basic of HTML can easily take just a couple of days if you're utilizing a relaxed approach, maybe 1 or 2 weeks if you really want to break it down into small bite sizes. And similarly also CSS. Now, one thing that I wanted to also talk about is how to learn and what approach should you have, because in this day and age, learning HTML and CSS, for example, doesn't need to be as accurate as you had to in the past. You need to just learn the basic top level concepts and you don't need to memorize each and every single tag that exists in HTML or each and every single property that CSS offers, but you want to have a high level understanding of how these work together and especially focus on items like Flexbox, which are the basis of pretty much every Webflow site out there. Now, on top of that, learning just a tiny bit of JavaScript and jQuery is going to do wonders, especially when you need to copy and slightly adjust the code in order to create, for example, advanced animations with JSAP and similar elements. But overall, these days, one tool which is going to help so much when it comes to learning and also understanding the code and implementation is going to be ChatGPT. So again, I really want to stress that you do not need to become an expert developer, nor you need to learn each and every single element that is available in code by heart. You just want to have a basic understanding, and even diving deep into this topic for 1 or 2 weeks is really going to do wonders in your ability of understanding what is going on behind the scenes whenever you're creating a Webflow site. Because at the end of the day, Webflow has created buttons and workflows in order to facilitate all of this work that used to be purely written by hand. So how can you learn these elements and these languages in an easy way? I'm going to go through what I did when I first started out learning to code, and probably going to create also a mini course in the future. But apart from that, you want to go the free route, highly recommend W3 School. You can start immediately today, and there is no fee. You can go and learn about each and every HTML element, going through the course, learning from the theory, and then you're going to have a part where you're going to actually type in the code. So it's a practical learning, theory, practical, very good in order to consolidate any coding understanding. You don't just want to go theory, you also don't want to get just practical. You want to understand both. And W3 School, if you simply want a free resource to learn now all about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and all of the other coding languages if you want. This is the resource, and you can stop the video and go right at wfreeschool.org. Now, other two resources that I highly recommend, these are going to require a bit of an investment, but in my personal opinion, they were truly worth it. And I tried many more, but I only recommend these two. Is for HTML, CSS, and they also have a book about JavaScript and jQuery. Highly recommend the book by John Duckett. It's just such a delightful book in the way that it's designed, organized, and it's almost like a Bible of the HTML and CSS, and also the JavaScript and jQuery, which is another book, and just makes it so easy to have a visual, physical reference in this digital world. We have everything is digital, of course. We're designers, we work on computers all day, but I really like to break things down sometimes into something which is physical, tangible, and this book, it's designed in such an exquisite way where I just loved learning HTML, CSS by utilizing this as a reference. And apart from the book side of things, there is this other resource which I can't speak highly enough. It's Team Treehouse, and basically they have popular tracks where you can learn about HTML, CSS, Flexbox in a very easy way. They have extremely high quality videos by top instructors who worked at very large companies, and they have videos followed by resources where you're actually going to test what you just learned, and the whole experience is great. You can start a free trial, and then there is a monthly subscription, which I can't really recall how much was. Maybe it was between $15 to $30 a month. You can just subscribe for a month, leverage it as much as you can, and then you can subscribe. They also have tech degrees, which are significantly more expensive. I think it's between 150 or 300 a month. I can't really recall. I don't really recommend those. Personally, I would just go with the basic training. And overall, the great thing about it is that it's in succession where you can follow in an organized path. Because of course, there's in this day and age there are so many YouTube videos, for example, but it's not organized in a path where it's easy to go from point A to point Z in your learning experience. So that is one of the reasons why I love Team Treehouse so much. Extremely high quality. It was just a breeze learning how to code with this resource. But again, if you want to go the free route, Abu Free School is pretty much going to have everything that you need. And you can always supplement with other resources, blog posts, YouTube videos, and whatnot if you ever get stuck in a particular module. So that's pretty much it. Again, highly recommend you to learn at very least the basics, and you're going to notice a difference in your Webflow website design approach.